in the last few moments, if you're just joining us, the Rwandan government has issued a statement in response to the Supreme Court ruling. Let's bring you up to date with what they have said.
They say, and they're obviously very cross about this, as we all are, this is ultimately a decision for the UK's judicial system. However, we take issue with the ruling that Rwanda is not a safe third country for asylum seekers and refugees in terms of refuelment.
Rwanda and the UK have been working together. They continue to ensure the integration of relocated asylum seekers into Rwandan society. Rwanda is committed to its international obligations, and we have been recognised by the UNHCR and other international institutions for our exemplary treatment of refugees.
Well, we're going to go back to Westminster to our political editor, Chris Hope, because we know there will be an emergency meeting taking place over Rwanda, if probably already, Chris. Give us an update, please.
Andrew, that's right. We can reveal that right now, the most senior group of Tory MPs and peers that you can imagine is meeting to discuss the response to this disastrous Rwanda ruling by the Supreme Court. Lord Frost is in there, Mark Francois, the chairman of the European Research Group of Tory MPs, Sybil Cash, of course, the person who largely provided the kind of intellectual legal ballast for the Brexit campaign over about 30 years in the Commons. They're working out what to say next, and that really matters because I understand that as many as 6 letters have been gone in, according to people who don't like Mr Sunak yet. Much so, of course, treat that with a degree of just not sure it's entirely true. But we are told by people who are critics of the Prime Minister on the backbenches that as many as 6 letters of no confidence have gone into him in the past few days. And whether that number goes any further, we'll wait and see. The problem for it the rebels have against Mr Sunak, if he doesn't move any further on European Court of Human Rights and withdraw from that convention, then they'll be thinking, do we have confidence in this Prime Minister going forward? Is there someone else who can take over and save their seats? Because currently the party is as many as 30 points behind, according to overnight polling from GB News. So I can say that it's reported to us that as many as 6 Tory MPs have now put letters in of no confidence in the Prime Minister. There's a meeting happening right now, a few hundred yards away from where I'm standing in Downing Street, in a Commons committee room of senior Tory MPs. These are not MPs who have put letters in of no confidence, but MPs who are concerned, very concerned about this ruling today. And their response will go a lot to work to establish whether the PM can ensure he can get through this big crisis for his leadership.
Westminster, keep us up to date on that meeting that's going on. 6 letters have gone in. We're going to be talking also later in the programme in the studio to Andrea Jenkins, who was the first Tory MP to put her head above the parapet and say that she's already put a letter in to the chairman of the 1922 committee saying there has to be a vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister.
We're looking at some of the lovely pictures of Rwanda here. Just to remind you, we've got Stephen Pound and Emma Webb in the studio with us now, which is just wonderful. But just to remind you both how much we've already paid Rwanda to prepare conditions for immigrants who will never arrive there. £140 million, Stephen Pound, of taxpayers' money. Makes my blood boil.
I rather think we could have spent that on some rather better things like an NHS or law and order or more policing.
Yeah.
But look, can I just say something about this generally? Look, if GB News was a stick of rock, the words running through the middle would be common sense. And so let's just apply. Sorry, I appreciate that's copyright Emma Webb, but look, firstly, turning the boats back. The minute a Royal Navy frigate or a minesweeper or even an RNLI vessel approached an immigrant barge or a boat anywhere in the channel, they would simply stick a knife in it and puncture it. And they would be in the water and we'd have to rescue them. If you think for a minute they're going to sit there in a sullen acquiescence while he tow them back.
Well, they didn't do that in Australia.
Yeah. You know, because it's massive, hundreds, thousands of miles of international water. You know, and the other thing is, look, you know,
they'd still have drowned.
Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah,
but I don't think that's right, Stephen. Yeah. It worked for Australia. Why can't it work here? I take Jacob's point about it's a narrower channel. Yeah. But
no, Andrew, it's not just that. It's also it worked in Australia because there were islands there that they could be taken to.
That's right. Yeah.
There are no islands in the middle of the channel.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, the other thing is, look, you know and I know that at the very most 40 or 50 people are going to go to Rwanda at sometime next year.
370 ready.
It ain't going to happen. It is not going to happen.
But £160,000 as well to get each person there.
Well, precisely. So when the solution is staring you in the face in front of you, why on earth don't we do what we used to do in Sangat, what the Dutch do, and actually process people here? And if they're legal, let them in. If they're not legal, send them back. Instead of having this farcical, ludicrous, headline-grabbing nonsense about we're going to send you to Rwanda. The Israelis did it. They sent 40,000 people to Rwanda. None of them stayed. They all disappeared. And guess what? They then turned up again, seeking asylum.